So here I'm given a function. I'm given a list of x values to play with and a starting for each. And looking at these values, so we'll calculate those in a sec, we can estimate the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x, this being f of x up here, is blank. Now here it says x approaches 0, which means I have to do two things. Like the left side here is saying, hey, find the limit. Whoa, pen's getting freaky. Find the limit as x approaches 0 from the left side of f of x and see what that is. And then this side of the table is saying, okay, look on the other side too. Look as x approaches 0 on the right side also and see what that is. And if these two, the left and the right, seem to be approaching the same number, then we can say, oh yeah, okay, then the two-sided limit exists. So remember, this is a two-sided limit here. And to give an answer for a two-sided limit, you have to justify that the left side and the right side match. And you could do this in Desmos for sure, but I think it's easier to do it in a spreadsheet because a spreadsheet can repeat the same calculation over and over again. So I'm going to have my spreadsheet do that. And I'm going to use the same spreadsheet I used earlier. Spreadsheet. Here you are. So just like this one right here, but a different set of numbers. So I guess I'm going to start over. There's nothing useful to copy there. And maybe I'll label this one as problem number 4. This one is problem number 1. And this one right here was just me playing around. Okay, so I need to keep track of the x value. And my function was, let's see if I got this right, it was parentheses, oh, I got a parentheses, 1 plus x raised to the power parentheses. Mine was negative 2 over x. Make sure I type that right. 1 plus x to the power, and I do need parentheses around the power also because it's a complicated power, otherwise the order of operations will be messed up. And I'm just going to check that I get that order of operations right. I should get the same number here when I plug in negative 0.1. So we'll do the left side approaching 0 first. Oops. And we can graph it to check too. So if I try to plug in 0, by the way, I am going to have a problem because I'd be dividing by 0 here. And that's trouble. It doesn't exist. So I can't cheat and plug in, so I get to approach. So negative 0.1. Negative 0.01, negative 0.001, and negative 0.0001. And then I type that expression with an equal sign, and instead of an x, I just click on the number I want. So parentheses 1 plus this x value on the left, close parentheses, little caret, shift 6 to get the power, parentheses, mine is negative 2 over that same x value. Close parentheses, and when I hit enter, Google is going to say, can I fill that for you? And I'm going to say, yes, please. Okay, so the first one is 0.121576, and my homework said 0.12158. Yeah, so my answer does round to that answer to the 5th decimal place, and then it wants me to enter values to 5 decimal places. And the spreadsheet's pretty cool about that. I can say, hey, for this whole column, let's see, decrease the number of decimals. I just want to see 5. So these are my homework answers for that first part. Now I want to go on the other side, the right side. So approaching 0 from the right, 0.1, 0.001, oops, too many zeros. 0.001. 0.0001, and I'm going to get a different set of answers, but I'm hoping they're kind of similar to this 1.13532. And I can just fill this formula down. 13535, so the last one here and the last one there match to 4 decimal places. So I'm thinking the actual answer must be somewhere in between. And I could always get more on each side. So if I want to get closer, I could just say, hey, get closer to 0. And maybe one more time. I can keep filling this down. Okay, so I'm going to guess that the limit is about, on each side, 0.13534. I don't recognize that number, right? It's not like 3.14. Oh, that's pi, right? But this might be some special number, and we'll look at that later in the course. But for now, we're just going to say, hey, it's about 0.13534. 0.13534 is what I think the limit is. Don't forget to fill in your values here, here, and here. Now, I'm going to check this by looking at the graph of that. So let's get Desmos and graph this sucker. So I'm just going to reload Desmos here. So it's always a good way to find a method to double check what you did before you hit submit question. Because on the test, you only get one submit. Oops, messed up. F of x, and I like function notation, is parentheses 1 plus x raised to the power, and I may not need parentheses for the power here. Let's see, negative 2 over x. Yeah, put the whole thing in there. Whoa, that's a crazy function. We just jumped into a different universe there. All right, well, add 0, it looks pretty good there, huh? Ooh, but it says it's undefined. But something's happening there, right? The curve looks like it passes across, but it just turns out it doesn't actually touch the y-axis. So zooming in, wow, it looks like it touches, but when I click there, Desmos says can't compute. Oh, it's undefined. Oh, get there. Oh, undefined, add 0, but to the left of 0, 1355 on the other side. 1352. Yeah, that matches what I was looking at before. I'm thinking the point is 0, 0.13534. And that point is pretty close, but if I zoom in far enough, I'm going to see it's not quite there. It turns out this number has more decimal places. Just to double check that on the spreadsheet, if I were to expand this column and show more decimal places, I can see they don't quite match, but they're getting closer. So now I'm down to what, the 5th decimal place they match there. So if somebody says, I need 10 decimal places, then I have to keep trying to get closer to 0 here to get closer to 10 decimal places here. Okay, so can I say this is a number like 2 or pi? The answer is no, but I can give you as many decimal places as you want by just letting x get closer to 0. All right, so nail that sucker.